It's possible that we have this struggle in material existence between good and evil that may be going on in our dreams as well. Hello. Today, I'm going to discuss a dream that I had recently. I've talked to people over the years about dreams, and I think everyone's dreams are kind of weird. However, when I talk to some of my friends about their dreams, I feel like mine are just, I don't know, they have a lot of surrealistic qualities to them. I don't know if that's because I have a different kind of imagination because of art reasons or writing reasons, but this one I had was quite unsettling. It shook me in a way I can't really explain. I'm going to talk about the dream here, but the feeling I got from it is kind of indescribable. I will say this about it. There was something that felt pure, a little scary, kind of like the feeling you have like just before a kiss, or you're going to give a presentation or something. So I guess kind of like butterflies. It felt a little dangerous. It felt imperative, but there was definitely this scary thing going on. I was a voyeur in it. Usually in a dream, you're kind of part of it. In this dream, I felt like I was separate and I was watching the whole thing unfold. I was a step removed. Divergent dream. So there was this ethereal horse, but it seemed like more than a horse, not a unicorn or anything. It felt like a force, not an animal. It had this numinous quality. It was beautiful, but almost impossible to look at. The strange thing about it, other than the numinous part of it, was that the horse had human front hands instead of hooves. And these hands were made from marble or some kind of white stone. If you look into dream symbolism, hands often represent like creation or action or skill, human agency. In the fact that they were marble suggests some kind of permanence, something like a monument or a sculpture. Also, something idealized and maybe ancient. The horse was standing on top of water, but the hands were reaching into the water and they were longer than the hind legs. In dreams, water usually represents the emotion or the unconscious, mystery sometimes, the depth of the psyche. To stand upon the water suggests some kind of mastery over the emotions or over the psyche, like a transcendence of the chaotic state. The fact that the horse was on one part and the hands were in the other part kind of, at least to me, feels like there's this connection between the two. This quality kind of echoes the idea of mythic beings that move between two worlds, like a psychopomp or something like that. Maybe Hermes. White horses usually symbolize purity or an untamed, powerful force or something wild and uncontrollable. A horse normally runs on instinct, but this horse stands on human hands. Its movement depends on hands with hooves instead of hooves exclusively. This is a problem because how is the horse supposed to run with these two different appendages? But there's also this. You could see the horse as the living and the hands are carved. Horses are alive and dynamic. Marble is fixed and eternal. It kind of combines movement with permanence. With its reaching into the water, it is kind of trying to unify the above and the below, I feel like. The last detail was this kind of concentric circle pattern. Not exactly sure what that means. It could be a symbol of like the Gnostic emanations. I also thought of it as like a target, maybe. More weirdness. When I woke up, I jotted down as many details as I could remember. A few days later, I decided to make an image to kind of articulate it in my mind. I do that a lot. I've noticed over the years that sometimes your unconscious or subconscious is not finished with it. And by making it in other forms of expression through a collage or a painting or a drawing or writing or something, you can usually get more. It's like the initial dream is only part of the message. So I started making this collage. I was working away, listening to music, which is something I usually do when I'm working on art. And no joke, I had my playlist on shuffle. There were, probably 100 songs, 200 songs in this playlist. And suddenly, Wild Horses came on by the Flying Burrito Brothers, not the Stones version. As soon as I realized, I was taken aback. It was like a synchronicity. And before I could process it fully, the next song came on, and it was Under the Milky Way by The Church. And it was almost like it was a joke, like the second one. It was like, ha ha ha, do you get it? Almost like a tease or something. It was really weird. Like most synchronicities, I do and don't get the joke. I think that's part of what a synchronicity is. Dreams as messages from the divine. It seems like the Gnostics or even other mystics would say that dreams come from above, part of the angelic world, or, some kind of communication from the aeons or something. Often dreams can provide a hidden truth or provide some kind of warning. They can also awaken a person. I've had dreams that have just completely changed me. There's also this possibility that dreams are some kind of deception of the archons, because dreams arise partly from the psychic world, but also the material realm, from your brain. They are the imagination, but it's produced by the brain. I think they actually work in several worlds at the same time. They are part of the emotional world, the world of images and archetypes, and generated by the material world. Some dreams could be distortions or illusions or manipulations of some kind. Sometimes it feels that way. So I think the question is the purpose. A Gnostic might ask, does this dream awaken me? Or does it reinforce fear, attachment, ignorance, all of these things that are kind of part of deception? My point is not every dream is trustworthy. And I would say a lot of dreams, not the one I had in this case, but dreams can often be about greed. Like if you're in love with someone or some kind of desire, things like that, and a lot about fear. If you have a zombie dream or, some kind of serial killer dream or something. Reflections of the soul's condition. That's what dreams feel like to me. They are a reflection of our internal world. A dream could reveal spiritual ignorance, inner conflicts, hidden desires, progress toward awakening. I think all of these things have an archonic side and a divine side. You could see the dream as a kind of screen, a window into the psychic realm. What appears on the screen may come from the body, the ordinary soul, the archons, or the divine spirit. There's also this possibility that we kind of catch dreams like an artist catches an idea. If you think about the tripartite division, the material or hylic, the psychic or the spiritual pneumatic, dreams generally involve the psychic level, images, forms, symbols, emotions, memory, imagination. It's the soul's activity independent of the physical senses. And I would say most of my dreams feel like they're of that psychic world. This one, however, felt like it was more pneumatic. In fact, I almost feel like the hands are the pneumatic entering the psychic. That's just the feeling I get from it. It's possible that we have this struggle in material existence between good and evil that may be going on in our dreams as well, where these two influences are kind of battling each other. I was watching a YouTube video by Red Letter Media about Nightmare on Elm Street. I like a lot of 80s horror movies. And Freddy is able to affect the material world through dreams. With that in mind, I think it's possible that the spiritual could break through the psychic, penetrate through it, and affect the material world in a kind of opposite manner. It's food for thought anyway. The process of dreaming. There are a lot of different ways to look at dreams, and science has tried to tackle it and explain it. Dreams may be the process that the brain has to go through when it's kind of cooling down, burning off excess energy, the way that an engine vents heat. If you believe in the simulation theory, they could be more like glitches in the matrix or a parallel world. I don't know if I get that one though. Could be about unresolved emotions, need to be kind of charged into something. It could also be that the brain is a kind of receiver and that it's tuning into this certain wavelength. It also might be some kind of script, like a computer script, a way for the psyche to maintain coherence by constantly rewriting itself as a story, like some kind of maintenance program. There are a lot of possibilities. What do you think they are? What do you think about my horse dream? For some reason, when I was creating a collage, the word divergent came up, so I titled the collage that. I don't know what it has to do with the dream exactly. I don't know, tell me if I'm on the right track with my interpretation, or if you've had any dreams that you felt like the pneumatic world was penetrating through the psychic or the material world. Comment those below. That's all I got. Take care. Have a good day.